Welcome back, everyone, for a story that's about to twist everything you thought you knew about love and loyalty. Frank and Carol, 40 years in, 2 kids raised, Christine and Michael. Life should have been sweet after all the hustle. Frank, retired but not done living, hit the golf course, heart issues or not. Carol, energy for days, kept their Upper West Side brownstone gleaming. Marriage, sure, it had its bumps, but settled into a groove, or so Frank thought. Then the cracks started, subtle at first. Carol, once happy with quiet evenings, started wanting more. Frank, thinking they were navigating his health stuff just fine, missed it all. Carol's restlessness grew, invisible to Frank, creating a distance, a space just begging to be filled. One rainy Tuesday, golf was a washout. Frank, bummed, headed home early, no heads up to Carol. He walked into their place and froze. Carol, in a pink silk robe he hadn't seen before, standing close, real close, to a guy who looked like he could still be in college. Carol, 59 but still turning heads, clearly had this stranger's attention. Frank stepped in. Carol smiled, leaned in for a kiss. Frank recoiled. "Are you out of your mind, Carol?" he snapped, disgust rising. "I don't even want to think about where your mouth's been." Carol, flustered, quickly made introductions. "Frank, this is David." David was younger, fit, confident, maybe an inch shorter than Frank, but built like he spent his life in a gym. Short brown hair, nothing special about his face, but he clapped Frank on the shoulder, too familiar. "Nice to meet you. Carol's told me tons about you. Don't sweat it. In 25, 30 years, I'll probably be dealing with the same stuff you are." David smirked, a punchable smirk. Frank, reeling from the intimacy he thought he and Carol still shared, the adjustments he thought they were making together, felt a cold fury rising. David's smugness was the last straw. "Get out of my house," Frank said, voice tight. "If I ever see you here again, you'll regret it. I'm armed." David's grin vanished. He was gone in seconds. "I thought you didn't mind," Carol said, like he was the one overreacting. Frank locked the door, stormed to their bedroom. Carol followed, robe now belted tight. "That was rude," she declared. Frank exploded. "Rude? I walk in on you with some kid you just slept with, and I'm rude? You're unbelievable, Carol." Carol softened, reached for his arm, but he flinched away. "I'm sorry, Frank. What we had, it was good, but it wasn't enough for me." "You couldn't have just told me that," Frank demanded. "Where did you even find this guy?" "He's a friend of Susan's. She didn't want him. Passed him my way," Carol said, like it was no big deal. "He's using you for sex, Carol," Frank spat. "Maybe, but I'm using him too. What's the difference?" Carol said, calm as ice. "How long has this been going on?" Frank asked, dread tightening his chest. "A few months. He comes by when you're golfing, takes care of me, leaves before you're back. It doesn't affect you. You get your exercise. I get mine," Carol stated flatly. Suddenly, Saturdays, linen-changing day, snapped into focus for Frank. "I don't care if I'm not here. I'm done with this. I'll quit golf if I have to." "Frank, be smart. You need golf. This works for both of us." "Maybe for you, Carol, not for me." "This is the end of it," Frank said, voice final. He went to shower, trying to scrub away the image of Carol and David. Carol, meanwhile, got dressed, drove straight to Jennifer's, their daughter, in Brooklyn. By the time Frank was out of the shower, the house was empty. No note. Space, Frank thought. Yeah, he needed space too. The shower helped cool the immediate rage, but the cold knot of betrayal remained. He understood Carol's needs, maybe, but he couldn't stomach her actions. He knew deep down he'd never do this to her. Next day, 4th of July. Family tradition. Frank, despite everything, prepped burgers, hot dogs, eager to see his grandkids, Emily and Sophia. The barbecue was a blur of forced smiles and small talk with friends and family. Carol, radiant, laughing, like nothing was wrong. Frank, heart aching, considered swallowing his pride, forgiving her. 40 years, right? As guests thinned out, Frank mumbled about a nap, needing to escape before the fireworks. Hours later, he woke, groggy, restless, changed, went to the living room, family meeting. Carol at the far end of the table, grandkids flanking her. Jennifer, her husband Mark, Michael and his wife Jessica, the air thick with unspoken tension. Jennifer started, voice too gentle. "We need to talk about Mom." Frank glanced at Carol, face blank, then back to Jennifer. "What about Mom?" "She told us about David," Jennifer said, blunt. Frank felt a wave of disbelief. "She told you?" "Yeah, and about your issues," Jennifer confirmed, eyes shifting uncomfortably. Frank stared at Carol, raw shock turning to anger. "My problems? This is none of your business. Mom's happiness is our business," Jennifer retorted. Frank turned to Carol. "Are you unhappy?" "I am happy, Frank. Please don't doubt that," Carol said, voice soft, practiced. Jennifer cut in again. "But Mom has needs, Dad. And, well, you can't meet them. Isn't that true?" "So I'm selfish for not accepting this?" Frank asked, voice rising. "We're not saying selfish, Dad. We're just saying you should support Mom taking care of things." "Quietly, since you can't," Jennifer explained, the words carefully rehearsed. Frank looked around the table. They all seemed to accept it, tolerate it. He felt ancient, utterly defeated. "You all agree with this?" Frank asked, searching their faces. Nods, some hesitant, some eager. "Michael?" Frank asked his son directly. "It'll help Mom," Michael mumbled, avoiding eye contact. "Mark?" Frank asked his son-in-law, expecting nothing different. "I don't see it being a big problem," Mark shrugged. "Jessica?" Frank asked his daughter-in-law, who shrank back. "Well, as long as she's discreet," Jessica offered, uncertainly. Finally, the grandkids. Different generation, different rules. "What about you girls?" Frank pressed. "Grandpa, we shouldn't be involved," Emily, the older one, said, clearly uncomfortable. "Come on, you're practically adults." "Opinions?" Frank pushed. Emily and Sophia exchanged glances, then looked to their parents, who gave almost imperceptible nods. Frank knew what was coming. They'd been prepped. Well, a lot of our friends, they're okay with their parents, seeing other people. It's just sex. Emily blurted out finally. It's just sex, Frank repeated flatly. Josie had orchestrated this, played them all. Keep the affair, keep the family approval. Brilliant, utterly devastating. No fight left in him. Frank looked at Carol, who watched him, eager, expectant. That's it, Carol. Majority rules. You win. Carol's face lit up, triumphant. Frank turned to leave. Frank, Carol called after him. He paused, a flicker of hope. Maybe she'd reconsider. Can I tell David you were joking about eliminating him? She asked, casual as asking about the weather. Sure, Frank said, voice dead. Dad, it's fireworks time, Michael reminded him, oblivious. Go without me, I'm not going, Frank said, walking out. As he left, he glanced back, Carol being enveloped in a family hug, united in their support of her betrayal. She was already on her phone, calling David, confirming their next rendezvous, assuring him Frank was no longer a threat. The family piled into Mark's SUV, laughing, chatting, heading to the fireworks, confident Frank would fall in line. Frank drove, not to the fireworks, to a quiet hill overlooking the city, a place for thinking, for escaping. Betrayal burned, cast aside, useless. Their support of Carol's affair, a cold brand. Discarded, like those old stories, elders left to wander when they outlived their usefulness. All Frank wanted was sleep, but daytime naps messed with his rhythm. Midnight before he got home. Jennifer's car still there. Carol's too. Everyone else gone. As he walked to the door, Carol opened it. Feigned worry etched on her face, alerted by the car alarm. Where have you been? I was so worried, she said, voice dripping with false concern. Frank walked past her, silent. Jennifer sat on the sofa watching him, curious. Why are you still here? Frank asked, voice flat. Mom was worried when you didn't come back after the fireworks. Everyone else had to leave, so I stayed. You could have answered your phone, Jennifer offered defensively. Frank pulled out his phone, powered off. As you can see, I'm fine. You can go home. Jennifer, stunned, watched her father, usually gentle, polite, now a stranger. She watched him retreat to their bedroom, shut the door, grabbed her purse, perfunctory kiss goodbye to Carol, left. By the time Carol finished tidying up, Frank was asleep or pretending. The house fell silent. The following week, Carol lived in a bubble of denial. Frank wasn't happy, sure, but she figured he'd come around. He loved her, didn't he? He'd bury it, move on. Frank, though, felt his life dissolving. Decades of family devotion. Now he was the outsider, the discardable one. Carol involving the kids, that was the line. Marriage, in his eyes, over. Their support, a final shattering blow. Everything he'd built, crumbling. Saturday, routine, golf, Westchester Country Club. 8 guys, rotating foursomes. Frank tried to focus, but all he saw was Carol, David. Game was off. Worst round in years. Forced smiles, weak jokes. Impossible. Carol watched Frank leave at dawn, try to kiss. Cold shoulder. Hurt flickered, then she pushed it down. David arrived. Parked down the block, discreet. Knock, robe, floor. Passionate kisses. David lifting her. Bedroom. 2 hours. David showered. Carol remade the bed. Laundry going. By the time Frank should be home, everything pristine. 2 p.m., no Frank. 3 p.m., worry. Calls to his cell, voicemail. 5 p.m., real panic. 7 p.m., Jennifer called for backup. Jennifer, Mark, Emily, Sophia descended on the brownstone. Mark to the club. Frank left hours ago. Jennifer, frantic calls to golf buddies. Nothing. Police. Missing person report. Not yet. Anxious wait. 11 p.m. Headlights. Julia, sensing tension, upstairs with Sophia. Mark, asleep in Michael's old room. Carol, Jennifer, facing Frank. Frank walked in. Carol waiting in the hall. Jennifer, a minor surprise. Saw her car, figured she'd be gone by now. Backup, obviously. "Where have you been?" Carol snapped, voice sharp. "Golf," Frank replied. Calm, too calm. "Not in the afternoon. You weren't there anymore." True. Lunch at the club. Dwayne Johnson movie. Not bad. Cliched. "I don't care about the details, Raymond," Carol hissed. "You asked where I was." Frank mumbled. "I want to know why you didn't come home. Why you ignored your phone." "Phone was off," Frank said, showing it. "Didn't come home because I didn't want to be here when your friend was." Carol, exasperated. "Everything was cleaned up long before you finished golf. No reason to stay out all day." "As I said, I won't be here at the same time as your friend. Late. Bed." Frank brushed past Carol, brief glance at Jennifer. Nothing. Bedroom. Expected one of them to follow. Silence. Voices in the hall. Jennifer, Mark, kids gathered. Great. Carol came to bed. Frank, asleep or pretending. Considered waking him, talk. Decided against it. Next weekend, same pattern. Carol, no calls, no texts. Frank gone all day. Time for cleaning, thorough cleaning. But alone in the house, unease crept in. Called Jennifer. Jennifer came over. Company until Frank returned. Mark, girls, stayed home. Support. Frank arrived, 11 p.m. Jennifer's car again. Confrontation. Walked in. Carol, warm smile, cheek kiss. Jennifer smiling in the background. "Change, love. Tell me about your day," Carol purred, cheerful. Too cheerful. Frank confused. Carol relaxed. Good mood. David. Saturday morning rendezvous. Obvious. Sighing. Frank to bedroom. Pajamas. Back to living room. Jennifer still there. Waiting. Hesitated. "Dad, I know this is hard, but amazing how you show your love for Mom. Letting her do this really helped her." Frank stared, stunned. Letting her? That's how they saw it now. Approval. Unbelievable. Weight of Jennifer's words crushing. They thought he was okay with it, accepted it. Looked at Jennifer, voice heavy. Jennifer, last conversation. Last. Make sure everyone knows. Jennifer, taken aback, nodded, understanding. Of course, Dad. Got it. Hard to forget if people keep bringing it up. I'll tell everyone. Kissed his cheek, gone. Carol came in. Drinks. Water for Frank. Something stronger for herself. Carol planned it. Jennifer first. Frank drank in silence, watched Carol, oblivious, moving, humming. Tensions, invisible to her. Months drifted by. Carol, David, Frank, new routines. Golf, movies, mini-golf, bowling, arcades. Terrible at them, but something. Home, strained normalcy. Luke never mentioned. Dinner together, polite, empty conversations, closeness, gone. Carol convinced David didn't touch their marriage, still affectionate. Frank rarely reciprocated. Carol, maybe too comfortable, maybe Frank's silence. She thought he was adjusting. Thanksgiving. Mom, David's here, Jennifer called, bright voice. Frank froze, newspaper shaking in his hands, Christine's words echoing. Oh, good, Carol said casual. Wasn't sure he'd make it. Anger surged. Chair lever, footrest down, stood abruptly, seething. What the hell is he doing here? Glared at Carol. I invited him for Thanksgiving, she replied, calm, defiant. He's alone, no family, nowhere to go. I told you, I wouldn't be here at the same time as him. Saturdays. Frank's voice trembled. Now you invite him to my house. Family holiday. This is my home too, Raymond. He's not here for sex, just dinner. Behave, Carol snapped, tone sharp, resolute. Frank couldn't believe it. Carol walked to the door, greeted David, introduced him to kids, spouses, grandkids. Frank stood, stunned. Carol took David's hand, led him into the living room, natural as could be. They turned the corner. Frank, gone. Empty chair. Carol scanned the room, puzzled. Garage door motor. Kitchen, garage door closing. Frank's car backing out. Was that Dad? Jennifer asked, tail lights disappearing. Yes, Carol snapped, irritated. Bedroom, thoughts swirling. David, uneasy, approached Jennifer. Should I go? Maybe better if I left. No, David, it's fine. Dad's problem, not yours. Always welcome here. Jennifer reassured him, forceful. David hesitated, stayed. Thanksgiving dinner, forced cheer. David, engaged with Michael, Mark, football talk, women, shopping. No one noticed Frank's car pass by later. Shopping done. Michael, Mark, couch snoring. Frank still not home. Jennifer, worried, woke Mark. Kids home. Stayed with Carol. Midnight. Frank home. Hoped Carol asleep. Waiting. Where have you been all day? She demanded, voice tight, frustrated. Denny's Thanksgiving dinner. Movies. Frank replied. calm. We had a great meal here. Denny's. Why? Not about the food, Carol. Company. Frank's voice edged with pain. Carol's frustration boiled. Can't believe a 64-year-old can't be polite to a guest. Never treat someone you invited like that. Told you. Not in this house at the same time. Not just sex. Any time. Knew that. Did it anyway. Frank shot back. Just dinner, Raymond. Carol dismissed. Maybe for you, Frank muttered, newspaper up. Conversation over. Tense silence. Jennifer knelt beside him. Soft plea. Dad, please, understand. He means a lot to her. Doesn't love him, but cares. Didn't want him alone. Frank sighed, weight of it all. Problem with Mom's friend becoming family. Not family, Dad, just a friend. Like anyone else, Jennifer replied, oblivious. Futile. Of course, Jennifer. Understand. Jennifer smiled, relieved. Hope so, Dad. See you later. Kissed his cheek. Gone. Carol didn't reappear. Bedtime, Carol asleep. Thanksgiving, turning point. Affection, gone. Neighbors. Carol, justified. Selfish Frank. Pride. Betrayal, ultimate. Necessary communication only. 40 years, love faded. Christmas Eve, Carol, last-minute shopping. Frank, silent. Years since she needed to shop last minute. Knew where she was going. Didn't follow, didn't check phone. Her face told him. Private Christmas with David. New Year's Eve. Midnight kiss. Passionless. Carol. Disappointed. David absent. Called him next day. Happy New Year. Valentine's Day approaching. Fancy seafood dinner planned. Carol. Hopeful. Rekindling. Frank. Suspicious. Holidays with David, Valentine's Day. Doubted she'd skip it. Left office. Brief surveillance. House watch. Park down the street. Clear view. David's car, corner. Walked to the house. Knocked. Carol let him in. Talk? Doubtful. Personal Valentines. Not casual anymore. Evening dinner, subdued. Carol, hopeful, rekindle. Frank's good mood, days ago, vanished. Disappointed Carol tried to make best of it. What changed? No small kids. Easter, big family dinner. Plastic eggs, gift cards, fun. Luke, not invited. Carol, respected that. Thanksgiving disaster. But David, other days, Saturday mornings more often. Valentine's Day, other days too. Easter morning, festivities over. Frank, lie down. Little tired, nothing serious. Avoid family, betrayal. Limit time. Beautiful day, window open, backyard breeze. Josie, Jennifer, conversation. How's David? Jennifer, casual, low voice. Not too loud, Dad. Okay. Jennifer, lower, still loud enough. Can't believe Mom has a boyfriend 10 years younger. Not my boyfriend, Jennifer, just... Come on, Mom. Sleep with him 2-3 times a week, dinners out. Boyfriend. Okay, boyfriend. Considerate of your father's feelings. No, Mom. Love Dad, too. Don't want him hurt. But honest, he's old. You're still young. 5 years older. Age, yes. But you're active. He naps all day. You deserve this. Jealous. Dating again. Anyone else know, besides Saturdays? Michael, Mark, Jessica? No, don't involve them. Everyone okay with it? Michael, Mark? Fine. Agree I should meet needs. Dad can't. Jessica? Thinks it's wrong. Won't hurt Dad, won't say anything. What Dad doesn't know. Hearing it all, betrayal deep, Jennifer's support complete. Last bits of love, affection, gone. Tentative plans before, love for family, marriage, held back. Now, final plans, earnest. Window closed, lay down. Months. Relationship with Carol, Jennifer, worse. Michael, Mark, not great. Jessica, grandkids, tried to connect. Too young. Mother's Day traditions. French restaurant brunch. Fancy. Kids younger, Frank took family. Kids older, took over. Same for Father's Day. Unusual arrangement. Other parent absent. Years ago, Frank stopped Mother's Day. Carol Father's Day. Kids celebrate separately. Frank, fine with it. This year, feeling wrong. Recent events. Something off. Instead of reading, dressed, restaurant. Carol gone 30 minutes. There. Didn't plan to participate or be seen. Car. Parking lot. Jennifer. Mark's SUV. Carol's car. Michael. Jessica's. Hope wrong. Then tucked away, corner spot. David's car. License plate. Recognized it. Wife, daughter, invited lover. Family event. Frank absent. Betrayal. Rage. Fading love for Carol. This new blow. Rage. Plans to temper actions. Gone. Golf clubs. Local course. Buckets of balls. Lost count. Exhausted. Better. Home. Nap. Useless. Naps all day. Let them think it. Carol greeted him. Private celebration with David planned? Didn't care. Still hurt. Not worth it anymore. Walked in. Admit inviting David. Chance. How was Mother's Day with your family? Slight emphasis on family. Wonderful, Frank, thanks. Great time with the kids. No David. Family now. Part of it? Or just didn't mention? Never know. Bedroom. Nap. 4th of July, Carol. Good mood. Knew why.